This sucks, man.
Hey everyone, welcome back to more Plush and Bad, and today we're going to be doing some more Zen testing for the upcoming Battle Hardened Portland. The only change today that I want to make, so we're not going to go into like an in-depth depth tech. If you wanted to see that, that was yesterday's video, but today we're just going to talk about individual cards. One of the cards I want to test today is Tiger Eye Reflex, which is a card that's been in and out of lists, I think, recently. With most recent lists, I think we've seen a kind of pivot to Harmony the Hunt, but Tiger Eye Reflex kind of offers a similar kind of stat line where it's like basically you're getting 3 value, making a Tiger, but the 3 value is basically free. So the advantage of this card is that if you're in a meta where decks are always attacking into you, or like you're basically always getting attacked, Tiger Eye Reflex gets a lot better just because you are always able to block with it and cash it in and stuff like that. Against decks like Enigma and stuff, this card is not as good, but it being a yellow is still like kind of acceptable. The main drawback of this card is that if you're like given a full grip, like a 4-card hand, and this card is in your hand, you're probably not incredibly happy about it. But I want to give this card a try again today because the stat line on it's very good. It's a lot better than like Harmony Hunts, for instance. And with Enigma being a little bit less of a threat, I'm kind of cutting down on some like the Go-Again package to try to make room for like more three blocks for like disruption, basically. So that's what I want to kind of try today. We're basically cutting like 2 red Harmony Hunts for Integral for like Tiger Eye Reflexes just to see how they perform. This might end up being like 2 Tiger Eye Reflex or something like that. The ratio doesn't matter. I just want to kind of test out the card itself and see how it plays. So that's the only change for today, and I think I might have like messed around with sideboard. I think today is also going to be the last day for Quickdodge Flexors. I've been testing this card a lot, and I'm just super not impressed. Also, who knows if I'm going to be able to pick up a copy in the case that we're opening, but yeah, I'm not super excited to play with this card, and even if we do open it, I'm like not entirely sold that I'll play in my deck. So this card might just get cut for like another like erase phase, which I put kind of in the maybe board here. Yeah, but I want to try to give this at least one more try to see if this impresses me. But again, this card has been incredibly lackluster in my opinion. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and get into the games. All right, so we got an Enigma, which will, I guess, give us a chance to kind of try out our new package. Playing against Gyat.
Where there is love.
And let's use our Enigma board. I think we still are running Tiger Eye Reflex in this package, which is not great. Maybe we just board in like one out and one Cosmic in. Let's see how this performs. Again, this might not be terrible. I think that Enigma is kind of on the downcline, or on the decline. Downcline. I don't think that's a word. Enigma is probably a little bit on the decline, so I'm not super worried about her. But let's see if the Harmony Hunts can hurt us here. Okay, so we do not have. Well, we do have Transcend, which is obviously good. The question, I guess, is it's Passover, so it's a little bit awkward. Opponent is also on Quickdodge Flexors. And what the heck are these? It's +1 while defending a weapon attack. This is a card in the Hunted? That's kind of... Oh, wait, yeah, it's part of that set. Okay, that's kind of cool. Sure. I guess we'll go ahead and just start with 100 wins and see what they do. Curious to see if their Quickdodge Flexors are going to be any good. I imagine probably not, but we'll go ahead and see. And now we have a couple options here. We could either pass and see if they play out an Aurora at the end of the turn, or we can try to do something here. I think I'm fine sending 7. If they want to play out an Aurora, it's probably okay. Because they'll have to block 6, they take 2 damage, they play out an Aurora. It's like kind of fine. We get a Transcend card our next turn, so it's not even that bad. Alright, they'll play out a Restless, which is not the end of the world. Alright, Arsenal pass, we get a Transcend card, which is very, very nice. They look like they are going to Transcend as well. Well, maybe not. What are they doing at this levels? Put into context, kind of an interesting include. Definitely kind of spicy. All right, so we should be able to get them really good with the Passover Preserve trick. The only scary part about this is we potentially get blown out by their own Preserve tradition, but it's not even that bad because we just have the backup Transcend card. So let's go ahead and just take the 6. Seems fine. Ideally, I'd like to like try to space out these Transcend cards, but the Cosmic kind of makes it so they can't do that. Let's go ahead and put E-Strike back in the deck. I don't know if that's right. Maybe Underwinds is like slightly better, but pretty similar, like mid cards. All right, gain of resources, dodge a CNC. Things are looking pretty good. We maybe wanted to consider popping Pouncing Paws there. Debatable. Let's. How do we want to start this? Could start with the weapon swing. I guess my question is, do I want to try to IP with Chi? It's kind of reasonable. Let's go ahead and, I guess, we're always probably wanting to pitch the Cosmic anyways. Alright, so get rid of the Restless. If we do want to IP with Chi, means we probably want to hold on to the Tiger, which means we probably want to get an Aspect. We can do, like, Hunterwind's Aspect, Malinki, Arsenal Tiger, IP with Chi. And then we just have Chi set up for next turn, which is really good. Alternatively, we can get a 1 cost, but because I didn't pop Bouncing Paws, we can't like really make a super effective use of Chase still. So I think I'm kind of fine to just IP a Chi. Seems okay. Yeah, the Blade Backbender Gauntlets are interesting new tech. I guess she maybe doesn't have a ton other better things to run. Like she has a Calming Gesture and like other stuff, but not sure. Yeah, Quickdodge Flexors also seem like a kind of side grade, especially against like, especially in place of the Footsteps. Right, go ahead and send the Tiger in. Then finish on a Mauling, Arsenal Tiger, have a Chi in hand, which is probably pretty good against what they're doing. Alright, they're going to opt to use the Blade Beckoner Gauntlets, which will allow them to, I guess, defend again with it for 1 at a later point. Alright, Shelter also kind of an interesting include. Wow, these Enigma decks actually got, like, kind of a lot of upgrades. Or, like, maybe not upgrades, but, like, side grades, it feels like. It's kind of interesting. So our plan to IP Uchi is not necessarily incredibly great here, but I guess it's pretty okay against a Mirror guy. I'm kind of curious that it didn't try to block more and then just like Arsenal Mirror guy for a later turn. Sure. What do we want to do? Sacred Art here is kind of awkward. I think we are honestly probably wanting to Arsenal Sacred Art, in which case we probably just want to like use Chi to get Chase the Tail, do Tiger, Chase, Tiger, CNC, Arsenal this. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. All right, let's go ahead and start with the Tiger here. Notably, our CNC is not going to get a ton of value. I think that's fine. Mainly just dodges reacts, which I think is pretty okay. Alright, might be letting the Mirror guy die here, which kind of makes sense. Send another 4, then send another 6. Maybe we catch them stranded in hand with a couple reacts that they can't use. Alright, we do also get this nice little Sacred Art set up, which is pretty alright. Alright, go ahead and Arsenal pass. Right, they have a Phantasmaclasm, which we kind of don't really care about, especially when we have a Sacred Art loaded up. So yeah, I think we're fine with this. They probably do end up like taking Chase the Tail here or something, and just trying to leave me with like 2 Cosmics and Ancestral. It's definitely kind of interesting. Alright, we draw a drop. Can we Cosmic here? If we do Ancestral Harmony, pitch this to Sacred Art, do this, get a Chi. We can Cosmic if we really want to. I guess the question is, should we? It's very greedy. So the play would have to be Ancestral Harmony, pitch a Cosmic to do Sacred Art. That leaves us with 2 Chi in hand. We block with Traverse, we get the 3rd Chi. We have 2 resources floating. Is that even good? I don't even know if that's good. Let's go ahead and just block this. I think we want to just like Ancestral Harmony plus Sacred Art and then Arsenal drop is probably like the wiser play. All right, no concept awakening for today. All right, go ahead and play the Ancestral Harmony. All right, hit a Harmony, which is not the end of the world. Go ahead and just Sacred Art. Gain a resource, and then start with the Tiger. Most likely just going to get Chase the Tail here. And then we get to just load this up for a future turn. Actually, I almost wonder if the Cosmic was better there just for pressure. We have to give up Traverse, which is kind of awkward, and then, like, we're just sending a bunch of, like, random Tigers plus Kakara, but maybe that's better, like, mathematically. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and actually... Where do we want to put the Shuko trigger? I guess it doesn't really matter. They don't have an aura out. So you can probably put it on the thing after Chase the Tail. Right, they have a Shelter, which is not a big deal. Sure. Right, they block with a Weakest. Also fine. Since we're arsenaling the drop, we'll just play the Tiger out for 1. Yeah, I'm almost wondering if the Cosmic was actually better there. It does mean we have to, like, give up some resources, but maybe it's worth it for 20 damage. Alright, I'm potentially fine with this Phantasmaclasm if it, like, draws me into a blue. Like, our hand's also just, like, very playable, unless they take, like, Tiger Eye Reflex, but even if they take Tiger Eye, it's, like, kind of fine. Curious what they take here. I feel like it's probably Tiger Eye. If they do, they can, like, also just draw us into a blue that we can potentially play. It's a very defensive-looking Enigma deck so far. All right, they draw us into a blue that we can play. So they sunk the Tiger Swipe, which is probably not what I would have picked. But this just lets us play Chase the Tail out, so I guess we'll go ahead and just block for the Tiger Eye Reflex anyways, right? Leak a little bit of damage here, but I think that's okay. All right, so let's start with the Ancestral Harmony. See what we hit. All right, hit another Ancestral Harmony as per usual. Let's go ahead and just play the Tiger out, and then I think we're just going to drop the Tiger, get Chase the Tail, play out 200 wins, and then be pretty good. Get a resource, activate Zen, get the Chase. They still have 1 block on these gauntlets, for what that's worth. All right, we say Sink below as well, so they're probably on at least 1 more Shelter, 2 more Sinks. It's probably fine to also go off an Arsenal here. We haven't seen CNC in a little bit. And we just go ahead and send 9 damage. I think that's well worth it. All right, they block with the Weakest. I think that's okay. Sure. All right, and we draw a very, very good hand. So this will... Okay, so we've already used all of our Chase the Tails at this point. Do we block with one, or do we just play it? I forget. But anyways, we'll just start with Growl. Kind of getting bailed out a little bit by a pretty good hand, I think, here. I guess we'll just go ahead and use these now. No real reason not to. We can get a 1 cost. We can always pitch the Chi. So we'll gain a resource here. I'm curious if we want to try to go for, like, an IP Chi play again. I've been, like, starting to just, like, try to do that, like, just IP Chi pretty frequently. I feel like in some matchups it's actually, like, kind of okay. Alright, so they're going to have a pretty good turn here. 5 cards lined up, potentially a Mirror Guy coming at us next turn. So I guess the question is, what do we want to do against Mirror Guy specifically? I think we just need to set ourselves up for, like, the best possible hand. In which case, we need to attack with Kakara, use Chi, Arsenal Tiger, IP with Chi. I mean, that's fine. that sets us up with the functionally a 5-card hand against their 5-card hand, and then it's curious. I guess they maybe don't need traverse here. All right, let's get our swipe. Just play it out. I wonder if we can potentially scare them into starting to block, which it looks like we kind of did here. Kind of cool. All right, but we're just gonna pass here. Still have a lot of armor left. They're gonna slam a mirror guy here almost for sure, but I think it's fine. They have a chi in hand, and then they have one other unknown card, which is probably like disruption effect. We also just have our own chi in hand, so like we're not scared of this mirror guy, even if it comes in for like 16 or whatever. So I think we just want to keep our full grip and then try to save our armor for like CNC or something. Whatever comes after, basically. Alright, so now they have 2 chi in hand, I think. Right, it has to be one more chi in hand. So I expect them to not arsenal this, if I'm not mistaken. They double transcended on our turn, right? Kind of interesting. They're also not taking the free attack off this. Okay, sure. Maybe they don't want to like give me traverse, but they already know I have a chi in hand, so. Wait, are they arsenaling their chi? I'm like 95%. This has to be. Oh no, maybe it was Rising Sun. That's what it was. Yeah, I think they did play a Rising Sun. Okay, so this does not have to be chi. This could be a bottom card. Okay. So that's fine. Used all our chases here, unfortunately, but we can still apply a decent amount of pressure. So how do we want to start this off? We want to make it as awkward for Flexors as possible, I think. So let's go ahead. I think we want to use the 100 Winds as an attack this turn, potentially. So we probably want to pitch the Rising Sun. It feels a little bit bad to do so. But I think we just want to send as many attacks at them as possible. So start with the weapon attack. Notably, they can't use their Blade Beckoner gauntlets on this, unless they want to just like sack their Spectral Shield, which seems a little bit inefficient. All right, so they will sack their Spectral Shield. Maybe that's not that efficient. Not that inefficient, rather. All right, let's go ahead and activate Zen. What do we want to get here? I feel like Breed Anger is probably the worst breakpoints because we can do 1, 4, 1, 1, or no, sorry, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1. It's pretty annoying. What do we have in Arsenal again? We have a Tiger. Maybe it's actually just better to get Mullen Key. So that's 5 extra damage. We already have the extra Tiger, and we want to just push it anyways. So let's go ahead and start with the extra Tiger. I say we get Breed Anger because we need the extra Tiger to make a breakpoint, but that's not true. We have the extra Tiger, so we can just use this to play Pouncing Key, and then use the other Tiger to threaten the Mauling Key on hit. So I think this is still fine. It also makes their Quick Dodge kind of awkward, because they're going to probably be using their Quick Dodge for like on a 1 attack here. Yeah, I don't know about cutting the Harmony Hunts. It feels definitely a little bit weird. All right, now they're going to have the Fridge to basically defend this, so a little bit scary. All right, so they have the Flexors as well, so pretty effective coverage here. All right, they're going to go ahead and pitch the chi that they tutored for. That's fine. One awkward thing about this actually is that the Tiger, we want the Tiger to be maximum threatening. We need to like distribute the breakpoint now. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. I don't think there was. I think we need to play the Tiger now, unfortunately, just to threaten the mirror guy. All right, so we're gonna get 3 charges out of their Flexor, and then this Mauling Key, if they want to keep their mirror guy alive, will demand another card potentially. I think this is about as annoying as we can possibly make it. But the Flexors are definitely something that I think I need to get used to a little bit in this matchup. Yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself. I wonder if sending that Cosmic earlier for 20 was just correct. It might have been, honestly. I think we just get a lot better numbers, and we also get to like leave a Chase the Tail in the deck, which maybe has some value. It's definitely interesting. I don't think we've like completely lost yet, especially when we have like all of our armor and they're having to probably give us 2 cards, and then they still get to attack with Mirror Guy again, which is kind of unfortunate, but all right, they're gonna pass on this. Activate the Flexors, sure. So then this Mauling Key should demand 2 cards. They get to keep a 3-card hand, and then they get to spend 1 resource to deal with Mirror Guy. Yeah, I don't think with that hand there was a way we could have guaranteed the pop on it. I'm at least okay at trying to limit their or I'm okay with at least putting them down on cards so they don't have like a full grip with while also defending a Mirror Guy. I think that's pretty alright. Alright, so they unfortunately get to keep the Mirror Guy. Their Flexors are gone. They've used all their armor. We have a really good hand. The only question I guess I have is, are we going to be able to survive this Mirror Guy? It's pretty likely that we will. But I think we actually need to preemptively block it. They have a weakest link to follow up. It's like abysmally bad. It's like very, very bad. I guess the question is, do we want to risk them having like potential Astral Etchings? I don't think there's actually a way they can have Astral Etchings. I think the worst case scenario for us would be them just passing. So I'm going to actually make a conservative block. I'm going to block with Traverse. If we get punished by weakest link, I think that's okay. I don't think there's actually a way we die to Etchings, because I don't think there's a way they can make a Spectral Shield at instant speed. I guess they could do something weird with like Restless. They could like play Restless and then Etchings after activating Restless or something. But I don't think that kills even through this. So I think it's fine to just get our Chi. Alright, so we take 6, go to 5. We still have 5 armor up. They play a Levels and a Transcend, sure. So potentially going to activate a response, do like draw go or something. We haven't seen an Etchings out of them, so I'm wondering if they even play it. I do think the Quickdodge Flexors are probably a pretty big deal in this matchup. Alright, so they can attack with Spectral. This comes in for 3. There's no way to pump this. So I guess the question is, like, when do we want to lose the life? Is it now or later? It can't hit us with, like, a disruption effect unless it's, like, Sensor or something weird. So I think Etchings is basically all we have to play around. We could block like this, but if they draw Etchings off the top, we still die. If we don't block the Spectral Shield, which is a little bit awkward. Alright, they play out, or they attack. Okay, so they reveal to us they have an Essence of Ancestry Mind. So that means we cannot, or we don't have to block this now that they showed us that. Which means we just don't have to attack with the blue attack next turn, and we're fine. I mean, we can like attack with like one of these, and it's probably okay, right? So we want to start with levels, and then like maybe end on like Pouncing Key or something. So I don't think there's a reason to block this. I think we'll just pass. All right, they play out the Essence of Ancestry Mind, sure. All right, let's start with the levels. Or actually, is there something different we can start with? We start with the Harmonion, what happens? Then so we already showed them the levels, which means that they let the Essence pop, and then they eat the levels damage, which is kind of bad. So I think we're still supposed to start with the levels. Maybe there's a different sequence if we like do Kakara plus Harmony Hunt or something, but I think we actually have to do this now. So we can't get Key Unleashed because of the Essence of Ancestry. I wonder why. Maybe we should consider adding like a yellow Key Unleash. I've not been hosed by this card in like a very long time, but always time to get hosed. Let's get, I think Breed Anger is probably the best. Doesn't fit our curve very well. Tiger Swipe's also potentially, maybe we go for like Buff Go on this. Is that interesting? That might be more interesting than Breed Anger. That should demand most of the cards out of their hand, right? If we do buff go. Something like this. So this will force one card plus Essence. Then we do Growl plus Kakara plus Tiger Swipe. Can even use the Pouncing Paws if we want to like try to force through a breakpoint around some of this. All right, they're gonna pull out the Restless. Sure. I think that's okay. It's maybe a little bit annoying, but it's still just functionally a 3-block, right? Essence of Ancestry Mind is like surprisingly annoying though. All right, we will follow up, I guess, then with. How do we want to distribute this? It's very awkward. I guess we'll go ahead and follow up with Kakara. This blue Pouncing Key might not be doing very much this turn, but I think that's okay. So we could actually, if we wanted to, we could actually play the Tiger, play blue Pouncing Key, use Growl, pop Pouncing Paws, and then play Tiger Swipe, which would get around the Essence. It's kind of interesting. Well, I guess we'll see what they block with here. They may have a response to this or something. All right, we'll go ahead. I think we do want to use our Pouncing. It's a little bit greedy, but I think it's good for playing around the Essence. So we'll go ahead and use the Pouncing Key here. They've gotten, I think, a little bit greedy with this Essence of Ancestry Mind, so I kind of want to try to punish them for it if I can. All right, they are running Astral Etchings, so we definitely could have died if they didn't like show us their hand. We will now play Growl, pop Pouncing Paws, play Tiger Swipe, which should, I think, get rid of most of their hand here. I definitely okay, so I think the biggest punt this game is maybe not going for the Cosmic when we just had it. Cosmic for 20 is like a surprising amount of damage. I feel like I'm normally like a little bit resistant to playing Cosmic, just because it's normally not incredibly damage efficient. All right, we get them to a 1-card hand here, I think, like guaranteed 1-card hand. All right, so that's good. Enigma on a 1-card hand, not incredibly scary, and then we'll go ahead and pass it back. We do need to draw somewhat well here, which we do. They draw into a Spectral Shield, which is okay. Do we want to block this at all? I mean, there's no real compelling reason to, right? Yeah, we're just going to try to kill him. All right, definitely a little bit of a tenser game than I did not want to pass, sorry. All right, you can attack me, sure. All right, definitely a little bit more of a tenser game than I was expecting, but I think I'm also not used to the Quickdodge Flexors. All right, let's go ahead and start with the Kakara. Probably just going to get a 0 cost here and then like make a Tiger in hand and use it for E-Strike purposes. All right, let's go for the Harmony Hunt as well. Stack up the breakpoints in a really annoying way. They might have Shelter here or whatever, but we're probably still fine even through that. These Blade Beckoner Gauntlets are actually kind of spicy. Just like a free 2-block. Kind of alright, actually. I'd love to see Sync Blow on a one attack. Let's put the pump on the Tiger here. I think I actually probably could have distributed these breakpoints a little bit better, but is what it is. All right, let's get Swipe here, and then we'll finish on an E-Strike. So maybe it's another React. Oh my god, there's so many Reacts in this deck. I want to like do a React count after this. It's probably like 9 Reacts or something dumb. All right, finish on the E-Strike for buff power. And I think we get him here. All right, they have levels in hand. Let's take a look at their deck. I'll give them a good game as well. So they have 3 Reacts left in deck, or sorry, 4 Reacts if you're excluding the put into context, I guess. Yeah, pretty disgusting Enigma deck. I've actually not played against Enigma since the new boots, so that was kind of a learning experience. I think you maybe have to be a little bit more aggressive. Like, this deck is still very scary. I guess my question is, like, how does the representation do, I guess, after the hunt did? Like, does it go up or down? I'm not entirely sure. People have been kind of like dooming on this deck a little bit because of like Ira and like Syndra and like Fai. Like I think that those decks probably run it over, but this deck is still like very, very real against Zen specifically. Definitely not like a free matchup. It feels kind of very 50-50 often. Yeah, but let's take a kind of closer look at the deck. So they're running Warmongers. Put into context, I don't fully understand this card, but I guess it's just maybe a Transcend Enabler. I guess that makes sense. It's like budget blue sync below. Or I guess it's like better blue sync below. Yeah, this card is actually just like better blue sync below, right? Because you just block 3 instead of block 2. Actually, this card is like probably kind of insane. Yeah, otherwise it kind of looks like a pretty standard Enigma deck. The Astral Etchings are a little bit confusing to me just because you can't really play it at instant speed unless you have like the Spectral out, which they're getting rid of the Calming Gesture to maybe play. But yeah, that seems like a solid deck. Definitely a lot of new inclusions from the Hunted, which I'm not super excited about, like Shelter and the new boots. But yeah, definitely a interesting deck. Let's see if we can get another one though. All right, so we got a Fai. So Fai is kind of a little bit of a scary matchup. I don't actually know if I have a board into Fai. So let me hit him with a good luck, have fun. So Fai might actually be in that. I want to try to test out the wax on, wax off plan into Fai. So maybe cut like the Tiger Eye Reflex, and then I think maybe some of these 2 blocks are a little bit awkward. Maybe we can bring in like one. Maybe bring in the erase face actually. That seems kind of reasonable. That's kind of also why I want to go to up to a second erase face potentially. Is there anything else we potentially want? Maybe like one that all you got over one cosmic. That all you got seems a little bit more suspect, but maybe it's actually okay. And I guess the question is, do we want to try out Quickdodge Flexors? Probably not. I'm gonna try it out, even though it's probably wrong in this matchup, but we'll give it a shot. See if it impresses us. Like I hate this card, but I need to at least test it to make sure that I like legitimately hate this card and am not just like kind of dooming on this card. But I think this card is like actually every time I look at this card, it makes me upset. All right, they're just gonna go for pass here, which is actually kind of annoying that we're now on Quickdodge Flexors and not pouncing paws so we can play our chase the tail. So that sucks. Immediate points against Quickdodge Flexors here. Yeah, and I think this illustrates my point of like Quickdodge Flexors being so super, super terrible. All right, let's go ahead and just send our 3-card 5 here, I guess. Pouncing Paws is so good. So good. Like Flexors are terrible. Like especially into like aggro matchups when you're Zen, it just feels so like I don't know what I want this card. It's like I want this card against like Assassin maybe, but like I can already just beat Assassin, it feels like. All right, I'm at least lucky that they're blocking this for what it's worth. Maybe they have a little bit more of an awkward hand. All right, yeah, definitely seems like a little bit awkward here for our opponent. Let's go ahead and arsenal our drop. All right, we got a pretty solid hand lined up. All right, opponent is going to go for a buff power. We are kind of fine with this. So the question here is, do we want to develop out our that all you got? Or do we want to, like, we could play this out for no value and just get the 3 block out of it so that we can do, like, save our drop for a future turn. I think that's kind of worth it. For what it's worth, we do have, like, the drop plus pathwell travel thing, but we can't line that up with the Flexors without, like, IPing ourselves with the pass, so that's also awkward. So I think I'm just going to go for the block on that all you got. It feels a little bit awkward here, but such is the card. I'm not even sure if you run that all you got into Fai. I need probably a little bit more reps into like what this deck actually looks like. They do, I think, run Ignite, which maybe is a target for that, and like Phoenix Flame maybe gets buffed to 2 or whatever, but we have a pretty good hand here with Pathwell Traveled. Okay, and we just get a natural chase aspect off the top. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. They want to keep a 5-card hand here. I honestly might be tempted to just make a Zen state. I guess it depends. Depends what they do. All right, get our nice little chase aspect going on here. I think if they keep a full grip, I'm supposed to Zen state. I'm curious if the wax on, wax off package is going to matter into Zen. For what it's worth, they are, I think, on Oath of Loyalty for the most part. So if they're on that card, it makes the Zen state or the wax on wax off breakpoints like really really good because you can wax on the Oath of Loyalty and then wax off whatever comes next. So do we want to go for the punish? I think we probably do want to go for the punish. It's just, I think, very, very efficient. Like, we're going to get a Zen state for, like, at least, like, 10 or 11 value here. I'll have Tegan do the Zen state counter here, but I'm guessing it's going to be pretty high. All right, we find our wax off too, which is quite nice. All right, so this is what I was talking about, that most of the turns, like, we'll start with, like, an Oath of Loyalty or whatever. So I don't think we're actually supposed to block here. I think we're probably just supposed to, like, play this out, Arsenal wax on, and then try to set up for, like, a wax on, wax off at a later point. But the Zen state should be getting a lot of value here. All right, we have a Rising Resentment as well. Again, I don't think there's really a need to block this. Like, they can obviously, like, stack up a bunch of, like, Mask of the Pouncing links, but the wider they go, like, the better the Zen state gets anyways. So maybe it's fine if we let them just have, like, a big Salt or whatever. Like, it seems kind of just okay. All right, they're going to go for an Ember Blade as well. Again, no blocks, no reason to. They want to get a Shuko trigger. They're going to need to have another, like, they're going to have like a Lava Burst or something to like get the Shuko buff on it, because the Tiger itself is, I think, the first chain link that they're going to have here. All right, so we'll still say no blocks on the Blaze Headlong. We're taking a lot of damage here, like, on paper, but it's really not that much. All right, Fai activation, which only comes in for 1, which we can just pass on. And then do they have one other card? No, they don't. Okay, so let's just go for, I guess, triple 100 wins into Arsenal wax on. I guess when do we want to... I guess we can use this now. It's probably fine, right? All right, go ahead and play out another 100 wins. Then we'll get another 100 wins, play out the Tiger just to get the Shuko buff, and then Arsenal wax on in hopes of lining it up with the wax off. But we already, I think, got how much damage out of that Zen state. We got 1, 2, plus the weapon, 3. We got 5 damage off that Zen state. We could get a lot more this turn, potentially. Depends if they want to, like, just block out into us, which might honestly be smart, depending on what their hand looks like. All right, looks like they will try to go for, like, a block out. Maybe they're going to keep, like, one card hand here. Sure. All right, go ahead and Arsenal wax on pass. We find the wax off as well, which is really, really good. I guess the question is, do we want to bully them, or do we want to try to end the game a little bit faster? We could just give them the snatch, right? Like, there's not really a way for them to, like, get go again or whatever. So it's probably fine to let the snatch hit. We can IP ourselves with the wax on, wax off and see if it's good. In which case, we need this to get... What are we getting off of this? I guess just anything. We get like 100 wins or something. It's probably fine. We can block like this. So we only got 5 value out of the Zen state, which is still better than nothing. But not like a crazy Zen state. I wonder if we're even supposed to like block this. We could actually just like send Kakara plus Winds of Eternity and like try to set up for a better Traverse. Maybe that's actually better. I don't really want to like commit with Traverse here, I feel like. Because like we don't have like Chase Aspect, which is like our biggest like damage combo. So I think we're fine to maybe just IP with the wax on, wax off. All right, blocking with the Devotion Never Dies, which is a card I didn't think that Fai would be running. Kind of interesting. Maybe they're running like a small fealty package, which I guess we've seen the Demonstrate Devotion, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. That's kind of cute. All right, we'll IP with the wax on, wax off here. I think it's fine. And then how long do we want to IP with that, I guess is the question. Because we could just like play it out here. If they pass, it's kind of like whatever, but well, I think we'll just go ahead and use it here. All right, our Dragon Blood, which will go again off the brand. It's pretty all right. Yeah, so I think we're just making a Zen state here. I guess the question is, what are we doing on our turn? Send an E-Strike at them. I don't know. It's probably fine either way, right? Yeah, the wax on, wax off seems pretty good into Fai. So I'll add Fai to the list of, I think, decks that the wax on, wax off package I think is solid into. I think it's pretty much like Fai, the Assassins, and Aurora that you kind of want it for. I think we want to try to go for like an Arsenal on the Pouncing Key here. I think Harmony Hunt's also like maybe a decent Arsenal. I think it's one of these two that we want. We have access to Traverse, so like we don't need the Harmony Hunt to transcend. So maybe that kind of leans me in just bottoming it for that reason. Again, we basically get tempo for at least another turn because of the Sin State. All right, they're going to block with Engulfing plus Devotion plus another card maybe. Okay, maybe not. All right, Disgusting Hand. So yeah, still no reason to block this. We could actually use Quickdodge here if we really wanted to. It's kind of cute. Oh, we don't get the resource from Kasaya though, so I guess maybe that's not necessary. So I think we're just fine to take this. Yeah, my hate for this card like continues to rise every time I just play with this card. This card has consistently like I've never had like a wow moment with this card where it's been like, wow, this is the best card in my deck or anything. This card has always been mid. I feel like every time I've played it in any matchup. All right, we'll go ahead and I think block with Bouncy Key here. I could have like a snatch or whatever, but it's fine. All right, our opponent is finally free from the Zen state, but not free from the Transcend. Let's go ahead. What do you want to put back in the deck? Can put back an aspect, I guess, maybe, because we're kind of running a little bit low on aspects. All right, get our Transcend on. And I think we just get a 0 cost here, like a swipe. And then just play out the Bouncy Key from Arsenal. Arsenal, the other Transcend card. Seems pretty okay. Still have a lot of armor block to potentially stuff their next turn. Oh, sorry, we should do swipe first. I guess we have now revealed to them that we have a Pouncing Key in Arsenal, so they're incentivized to block this now, but if they're blocking this, I think we're probably happy with that. Alright, pass it here. Alright, so you get +1 damage on the Pouncing Key. Alright, so we've got a basically 18-point lead on our 5 friend here. We got 2 Axons, which are quite solid. It's looking like a pretty good spot to be in. The Flexors here continue to be unimpressive, but it's kind of normal for Flexors. I probably need to stop complaining about Flexors. I think that, I don't know, I feel like I made my opinions clear enough on this card to the point where I think this card is just bad. Especially in Zen. I think that Pouncing Key just provides a ton of like niche value that Flexors doesn't. Alright, how do we want to block here? I feel like we're fine to maybe let this Ronin Renegade through. So just pass. I think it's fine to take 1 chain link of damage. Alright, they're going to go for a Vest Pop and then probably a Mask as well at some point this turn, maybe. Alright, we'll go for the Mask as well. I wonder what they're going to get. They're going to get a blue Brand with Cinderclaw. Huh. Why? Is that really the best thing that you can get off of it? Alright, we're going to go for a Wax on this. And just soak up a little bit of this damage. Stir the Pot in Arsenal is a little bit weird. But I think we're just wanting to kind of mitigate Salt the Wound a little bit here. I don't think we need to get like super greedy here and just block like a 1 attack though. I think it's fine. Like if this is functionally coming in for like 2, I think it's fine if they have like Assault in hand or whatever. Alright, we have a Devotion Never Dies, which does have the on-hit effect. So how do we want to block this? What is the block here? It's maybe Wax on plus Traverse or something. Kind of sucks, but it's better than nothing. I don't think I want to just let this hit. Alright, opponent seems to have given us a good game here. I don't know if that's a good game from our end or from their end, but I'm assuming it's probably from our end. Alright, so we have a Searing Emberblade with a Snatch Pitch. Sure. Do we want to block with Shuko? Salt the Wound doesn't kill us, so we're probably fine to just save hold on to Shuko. Alright, they do have Assault. It's coming in for 6, so fortunately we blocked enough chain links to the point where this is significantly reduced. And we'll just probably try to kill him with a Kakara plus Breed Anger plus Swipe here. So I think that the Wax on, Wax off package is pretty good in Defy. From what we've seen in this game, it seems like it did kind of a lot and kind of forced them into a situation where they were blocking. Flexors, I think, are just terrible. I'm like immediately cutting this from my deck after this. Like, this is basically like, I think this is like the 3rd or 4th game in a row where it's just been better to not use Flexors. I feel like card is just very, very underwhelming, I feel like. Alright, this should force at least 1 card out of hand. Maybe just Shuko, or yeah, it has to force a card out of hand. Alright, so pretty good spot to be in, and then we just have Transcend for the next turn, so pretty alright spot. Alright, unfortunately we can't use Transcend here, but it's fine. We'll just get a Chase Aspect and... Oh, sorry, whoops. Meant to use the other ability. Let's get our Chase. You have to pitch CNC here, but it'll kill him regardless. Okay, yeah, it seems like they recognize that. Let's take a look at their deck and see if they're cooking anything. I like the little mini fealty package they got here. Just like a bunch of 0 for 3s, and then like Dragon Power as outlets, and then like the where's that other card they had? They have like the Devotion Never Dies, and then the Aura Dragon Bloods. This is a pretty. I kind of like this list. Definitely, I think they're kind of cooking something here. I think Fai is just probably not a great matchup in the Zen right now, just because like their equipment's not very good, and then also just like I feel like we just put out comparable numbers, if not just better numbers. So yeah, feels like we're in a pretty good spot, especially with this kind of configuration of the build. And I think that with especially this list, it seems like it is pretty weak to just like wax on, wax off. So I would consider running wax on, wax off, and if you see a bunch of Fais like running around. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. So I'm going to just make the executive decision here. I'm going to, wait, we got to go to the right matchup. All right, I'm gonna make the executive decision here to just cut these. I think the Quickdodge Flexors are like actively terrible every time I played with them. I don't like the card. Not a big fan. If it ends up being good, then I will eat my words in Zen. But I just don't understand how to use that card, or maybe I'm just like not finding the opportunities to use it. But like it just feels like every time I'm faced with like the potential of activating that card, it's like I lose tempo at the cost of activating that card. So not a fan of that card. I think Pouncing Key is just better, and it's also just better for our wallet because it's very likely that I'm not going to be able to open one of those flexors, which I think is dumb that it's a legendary slot. But anyways, tangent aside, I not a fan of that card. Has not impressed me. I played like 30 or so games with it, and not once I like really saw like the wow moment of that card. So, not a big fan. And then yeah, I think we're just gonna bring in the second race base just for an extra popper and Enigma. The Tiger Eyes are a little interesting. I honestly might cut down to like 2 Tiger Eye and like maybe up on like Harmony of the Hunts instead of the Growls or something. Like, because I feel like the Tiger generation, like I feel like there's maybe room for this card in this deck, but it feels like a little bit awkward in some of the matchups that we saw. So not crazy about Tiger. I think Tiger Eye still like has its place, and I think it's very, very solid, especially in a meta where like everyone's attacking every turn. But as we saw in a couple of the games, I think that this card kind of is a little bit of a liability sometimes when your opponent isn't attacking into you. So that's the main downside of this card. But I think that maybe still does have a place in the 70 or whatever it is. So yeah, but with that, I think we're gonna wrap it up today. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.